welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We are back with breaking news. Miami Dolphins have officially released their very first depth chart. And long story short, one word, that's two words. Very interesting. All right, so interesting is a long word. We're gonna break down the chart. Some things are as expected. There's just one little caveat in the depth chart that's very interesting in how the coaches listed it at two positions, if I'm not mistaken. Two positions. They listed it a specific way that has me wondering pretty much what are they trying to accomplish by doing so. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on what they are doing. It's going to be very interesting. I'm going to give everybody about 30 seconds to come in the room, and we'll go ahead and get started, guys. Ah, man. Had a late last night. Y'all know I ended the stream at about midnight, and then my youngest son, he wasn't feeling well at all, so he kept me up until about 3:30 in the morning. So at that point, just trying to help him out, get him to sleep, help him feel relaxed, and then I'm kind of honestly, I'm just waking up about 45 minutes ago. Brush your teeth, wash your face, do all that good stuff. So I'm still getting up, guys. I'm still getting up. Make sure you guys check out dolphinstalk.com, where you can find everything Miami Dolphins, a lot of different perspective, a lot of articles, a lot of videos. Guys, check it out. It's an amazing website. Outside of that, guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. First and foremost, I think as far as the depth chart that's already been released, I think the most obvious thing is the offense. There isn't many special things there. We already know that Fitzpatrick was leading the battle, and right now he's the number one QB with Rosen as the number 2 and Jake Ruddock as the number 3 QB. We're going to go ahead and talk about the O-line real quick, run through that. It's the same lineup that Dave, basically the new offensive line coach, set up. And he's riding with that for the first depth chart. We have Laramie Tunsil at left tackle. We have Michael Dieter at left guard. We have Kilgore at center. We have Jesse Davis at right guard. And we have Mills at right tackle. Now, the interesting part to that is the backups. You have Stirrup at left tackle. I'm not a huge fan of Stirrup, guys, especially when Laramie Tunsil went out last year. It just looked really bad whenever he played even just a few snaps. Hopefully he's coming to his own and gotten better, but the depth at the left tackle position is something to be worried about. But that's why you have Dieter. Dieter is a starter, but in any sense where they can fill in that left guard spot, that means Dieter can move on the left tackle spot in replacement of Tunsil if necessary, which we hope never needs to happen. But if that ever has to happen, that would be a good replacement. He played a lot of left tackle in college as well. Dieter, if you ask me, is the most versatile offensive lineman that we have as far as position-wise. Has experience at center, has experience at left guard, and experience at left tackle. Something he's in all three positions were played in college, but his strongest suit was left guard. So backing up Dieter is Fuller and Dunn. And I didn't mention Jones Smith is also a left tackle, but some of these guys may not even make the roster. At the center position, Reed will be backing up Kilgore, and Adams will be the third string. Again, if Adams will even make the roster is unknown. Right guard, behind Jesse Davis, you have Calhoun, Monteiro, and Guerreros. These guys, some of those guys may not even make the roster. It's going to be tough in that situation. Now, the first sense of controversy, I don't even know what word to use, trickery or games. I don't know what the coaching staff is doing with this, the tight end depth chart, okay? Oh, shout out to you on Wedson. I see the first one here was just looking at the depth chart. Awesome. Stanley, first like. Yes, hit that like button, guys. Zach Zap. What's up with you, man? Now, these tight ends, they didn't name a starting tight end. They did not name a starting tight end. They literally made it a 3-race battle to be the starter, which is crazy, all right? They have Gesicki, O'Leary, and Smith. Gesicki, O'Leary, or Smith as the starter. They didn't put in. They put Gesicki or O'Leary or Smith as the starter. And that's pretty funny to me. But I think I know why they listed two positions this way. It's because there is no starting tight end, nor will there ever be in this type of system. I think that this is going to be geared towards the scheme. If the first play of the game, we're going to be throwing the ball, there might be a good chance that Jaceki or O'Leary will be the one. If we're going to be running the ball, it might be a good chance that Smith or O'Leary may be the one. That's why I think they put the oars on the depth chart this time for two specific positions, because it just depends on what type of play they're going to be running. Now, I don't like that all the time, and here's why. At some point, everything can't be schematic. These players got to get better to be able to do other schemes that other players run well, and here's why. Because if other teams catch on, they'll know, oh, O'Leary's in the game. They're probably going to be throwing this ball. If that makes sense, I don't want them to be catching on to our packages and say that guy's in the game, they're definitely running. That guy's in the game, they're definitely throwing. So that's why that can get a little tricky. The second string tight end, which is weird because if you got three as the first string, those same three are actually the second string, and those same three in some cases could be the third string, unless they're running a double tight end set or a three tight end set. Then I understand the or as well. It could be perceived in so many different ways. So behind the three guys, they have Walford, and then they have Dwayne Allen after him, and they have Merrick as well, who probably won't make this roster. But Dwayne Allen is dealing with the injury, guys. I don't know if it's even more worse. It might be time before he can actually get back and play at a starter type clip if he makes it to that point. So that's probably why they have him a lot lower down on the depth chart as well. Now how about Dwayne Allen? He's down. He's second to last. Out of 6 tight ends, he's number 5 right now. But I'm telling you guys, that solely has something to do with his injury, I think. Coming out trying to practice and then tweaking it again, I believe. Had to walk off with help. So that could have something to do with that. So that's what I think is happening there. Hey, TD, who do you think is going to be our team MVP in the regular season? Team MVP in the regular season, that's actually a great question. It's hard to give one person. I'm going to give you my top 3 candidates. And then when we get closer, I'll tell you one. Xavier Howard, Christian Wilkins. Either. I don't know which one. Either Kenyon Drake or Kalen Ballage. One of the two. Depends on how those snaps, the allocation of snaps even out, see how that goes. But those 3 guys, I think, are going to be – Tunsil's going to be a team MVP. It's just that, again, man, it's a tough thing about playing O-line. Even in this league, it's hard for you to become the team MVP as a left tackle unless the whole team sucks and they know that you're the only good thing. It's hard because most people – now, to us, of course, Tunsil is probably the most solid player on the roster. But, again, team MVP. I mean, people are – I guess he's the most valuable player if we're looking at it definition-wise. So, Laramie Tunsil. But as far as fan base and what they're going to recognize as the most valuable player, those 3 guys that I name have the best potential to do that. They will catch on if that's the case. Yeah, that's my fear, Whitson, if we do it that way. But I think we'll mix it up, and I think they'll utilize that. They'll run a lot of it, and when teams start to catch on, leave the same personnel on and hit them with the opposite. I think a lot of that will happen. So we'll see. It just, we're relying on this coaching staff to impress us in that area. Moving right along, wide receivers. This is kind of interesting because Albert Wilson hasn't even been practicing, guys. Albert Wilson has not been practicing. And he's a starter on this depth chart. That's why I'm a little skeptical about the Dwayne Allen one. But I think they know that Wilson might be back game 1. But we'll see. But right now they have Albert Wilson on the outside receiver. They have Devontae Parker as an outside receiver, and they have Kenny Stills in the slot. Excuse me, as a slot receiver. If I'm reading this correctly. Otherwise, your three starting receivers, Parker, Wilson, Stills. Okay. Backing those guys up, Jakeem Grant, Isaiah Ford, and Irwin. And backing those guys up is Preston Williams, Hearns, and Butler, which seems on par. It's just interesting to me to see that Isaiah Ford is the second guy on the other side and not Preston Williams. And that can mean something. That's an interesting look right now. This all goes hand in hand with I don't know. This depth chart isn't adding up for me because they have Irwin in front of Hearns, they have Irwin in front of Bryce Butler, they have Irwin in front of Preston Williams. Even though they're on different wide receiver slots, that it's just not adding up for me. It's making me feel like they just released the depth chart, gave you a few little hints, and just threw the rest of the names in. It kind of makes me feel that way, really. Like, here's our starters, and everyone else, we just put the names in. I really do believe that's what they did. I really do believe when I look at this depth chart, that's exactly what they did. Or they strategically did it to put players that aren't of lesser value a little ahead of some guys that are up and coming just to keep them pumped out, just to keep them fighting. I really do come up with that conclusion. I do come up with that conclusion because I don't understand how Irwin would be above Preston Williams at this point or Allen Hearns. Now, don't get me wrong. We haven't heard much of Hearns and Butler. They even doing stuff here and there. So it could be in line, but still, Preston Williams on the third as the third slot behind Parker and Grant. Not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. So there's a little bit of carelessness in this, if you ask me, but I could be wrong at the end of the day. I could be wrong. We'll see as time goes along, and we'll get a better indication when we see this game on Thursday that I will be at. So if y'all going to be there, y'all let me know so that we can meet up, guys. That'll be pretty cool. All right, guys. So next, oh, hold on. I think my wife just texted. Let me just respond to her. All right, we're good. So we'll see. We're gonna find out. Now, the running back position, they did the same thing they did with the tight ends, but only with two running backs. They put Drake or Balaj. And once again, that's interesting to me because it's not interesting because I think what it is we need to come to the conclusion. We need to come to the conclusion that simply it's just going to be a running back by committee. Depending on the scheme or what they're trying to run is going to indicate who's going to be the first one running the ball. So they have Drake or Balaj. They didn't say Drake, then Balaj. They said Drake or Balaj, which is interesting. I'm still not getting notifications. I hate that, man. This is interesting. So, and then they have Mark Walton right after that. Then they have Laird after that. Then they have Gaskins. Then they have Farrell and Cox way at the back. Again, they just threw them in because Cox, I mean, we're going to have a fullback on this team. It'll be hard to not think Cox will be it. But even though I know Christian Wilkins has been getting some of those snaps. But I think, again, this is more reason why I think they're telling you who the starters are and everybody else they just threw in just to keep them motivated and fighting to get it done. Because I don't know why Gaskins would be behind Laird at this point. Haven't heard much from the kid Laird, so we shall see. But that's the offense, guys. Let me check into what y'all talking about real quick. TD, What would you say to Brian Flores if you met him? What would I say? Nice to meet you, Brian Flores. That's what it will start with. But if I met Brian Flores, I would try to. It ain't even so much of say. I would be asking. I would be asking. I want to understand his philosophy of football in and out. I want to understand. I want to pick his brain. What is his thought process from a schematic standpoint? How do you see the game? How do you see schemes on the field? What are you trying to accomplish when the team's trying to do this? What are you trying to accomplish when the team's doing that? I would really try to understand his thought process in that regards. That way I'll better understand all the decisions that he make and why he makes them. I'll try to understand his thought process on the coaching youthful players, how times have changed and how has he adapted to the change of times, because that's one thing that some people rave about. He's a leader of men. And one of the main reasons we hired him, and Greer and Ross said, was because how he basically knows how to coach this new generation, because it is a new generation of players. These are the players that are cursing at you as a coach now. Back in the day, it was the other way around. There was no such thing. So how do you manage those type of things? And how do you, just his coaching ability, his thought process, everything behind it. I mean, sitting down with Flores, I could probably be talking for 30 days, especially if it's interesting talk, because I know I'm going to add value to the conversation. But that's pretty much it. Just pick his football brain. Outside of that, ask him how he's adjusting to Miami. How is he liking the culture down here? Where is he living? Is he in Palm Beach? Is he in Fort Lauderdale? Is he in Broward? Dade? I don't know. Just and also check on him, just him as a person. How are you doing? Just that. That's all I would do. What else we got? Shouldn't Dwayne Allen be our best tight end? He do have the most experience. Yeah, Wedson, but I was saying I think it has something to do with the injuries right now. He's injured, and we don't know when he's going to come back. He came back and then he limped off the field the very same day. So we have no idea. All right. Minka, Tunsil. I guess the guys that's MVP. Yo, what's up, TD? What up, Clemente? Tunsil might be our best player. I agree. What do you think about Devontae Parker? I don't think about Devontae Parker, because at this point, no one should think about Devontae Parker. They should just sit back and witness Devontae Parker. Witness what he does this year, because this year will right his ship. He is the starter. Obviously, he's doing what he needs to do in practice. He's still that guy, because he's in the starting unit above Bryce Butler, above Allen Hurns, above an up-and-coming Preston Williams, who Xavier Howard says can be a number one receiver in this league, above Isaiah Ford, above Jakeem Grant. So at the end of the day, he's doing what he has to do in practice, and we just got to sit back and observe Devontae Parker. Leave the past alone. Let's go ahead and erase that slate, and let's see. We just drafted Devontae Parker this year, and he was a first-round pick. Let's see what we have. That's the mentality we got to have about Parker with the coaching staff, a new coaching staff, that there's not going to be any animosity. There's not going to be an agent-coach issue with injuries, because I believe the agent when he says Adam Gase was lying. My client is healthy. He's ready to play, and Adam Gase sat him 3 games after the agent said he was good. And then the 4th game, when after the agent came out and blasted him, he came out and played well, over 150 yards and touchdown. And we got to sit back and see what he does this year. We can't jump to conclusions. Oh, he's a this and that, and all. No, fresh start. Let's go, Parker. Let's see what you can do, homie. In the way I look at it, we got three new first-round picks this year: Devontae Parker, Christian Wilkins, and Josh Rosen. That's the way I look at it. Let's see what they do. Let's see. I'm surprised Jones starting, because he's hurt right now. I know, but that made me feel like, okay, maybe they're telling us something. Maybe it's just a simple. Maybe he's actually gonna play this Thursday and he's just chilling and had a little sprain and he got a little boot on it and he's gonna come out there for a first unit thing. Maybe it's nothing. But then if he doesn't play, then I don't care anything about this depth chart. They just put it out just to appease people. If Rashard Jones doesn't play, because if you have him starting right now on a depth chart ahead of a game, a preseason game, because that's why they released it. They released it because of the preseason game is coming. Got to release the depth chart. And if you got Jones on here and he's not playing, then I don't care anything about this entire depth chart. So I've already slated that the Rashard Jones situation is going to be my gauge, but I guess we can say the same thing about Albert Wilson because he hasn't been practicing. It makes me not, I'm telling y'all now, it makes me feel like they gave y'all a depth chart right now of what they project to be the starter in week 1 as of right now. But outside of that, they just threw whatever they needed to throw in. And that's what I'm thinking. Because if Jones doesn't play, if Albert Wilson doesn't play, what was the sense of this depth chart? It's supposed to be updated frequently based off of who you think you play right now. How you got Albert Wilson and the man ain't take one single snap this all season? So I don't know. What you think about them Rams, though? The Rams are going to take the NFC. I'm not sure about that. I think people underestimate the value that the Rams had in Ndamukong Suh helping hold down that middle, making it easier for the rest of the D-line. So I think they underestimated. And it's teams like the Ram that can either continue to be very well or they can fall off a cliff. You'll be surprised, man. You'd be surprised. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think statistically they should fall off a cliff. They should be just fine because they got Goff. They got a rookie quarterback, not rookie anymore, but a young quarterback who's on a rookie deal. And at the end of the day, you got enough money to put a lot of talent around them. You got money to do it. And this is when you're supposed to be winning if you found the right quarterback. And I always argue the real test comes when that rookie quarterback gets his new deal and you can't afford all the luxury around him. How does the team look? So, and I keep pointing to the Cowboys. They're going through drama right now. They don't know what they want to do. There's new reports that they might trade for Adrian Peterson to save money. They don't know what they're going to do. And people always say, we'll worry about that when we get there. And then when you get there, you wish you worried about it ahead of time. They don't know what they're going to do. Jerry Jones is like, I can't sit here and pay Zeke that kind of money and then turn around and pay Dak Prescott that kind of money. And let one thing go wrong. We're screwed for the next 4 years. Let Dak get hurt, we're screwed. Let Zeke get hurt, we're screwed. Or just the simple fact that even if they don't get hurt, now I got to go through my roster and figure out who we're going to release and we can't keep. It's a headache, man. It's a headache. That's why I don't listen to the people that always say, pay the man. Pay the man, pay the man, pay the man, pay the man. Can't pay everybody, man. Or you're going to put your team in a lot of trouble. And keep pointing fingers at reasons why they're not good when the money, follow the money, y'all. Let's see. I'm still not getting no bill and put it on all instead of the other one, periodic or whatever. Make sure you check that out. Spacely, I think the Rams should trade for Drake if he's indeed on the trading block. Todd Nees is a concern. I mean, you got a point there. Gurley ain't looked the same at the end of the season. You never know if he will be the same. But I'm not going to say trade Drake. Drake, man, listen, I think at this point, Drake and Ballage are going to be on this roster as a two-headed monster, and they'll always be interchangeable, and they'll always be an asset that they can move because they can easily just replace him with another back as a two-headed group. So I think he's definitely going to be on this roster this year, and that's King and Drake. Good morning, TD. God bless. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you, man. Spatially, I think I already read that. Rosen being the backup is good. That means he'll play more. In preseason, that's what I want to see. I want to see Rosen play more game time action. TD, you need a cup of coffee. I don't drink coffee. First of all, I got a cup of water. But I understand what you're saying. I'll pick it up after this stream, the next stream. Trust me, I'll be there. I will be there. I just went to sleep after 3 a.m. because my 1-year-old was having a rough night. He didn't feel well at all. Had to do a lot of cleaning up behind him, so it was just a rough night. So it is what it is. And I had to wake up about an hour ago now at this point. So I don't know what I'm running on. I think I still got a decent sleep. So, but still, it's just wearing. Yo, I'm still not getting notifications. 4-12. 4-12? Nah, I don't see that happening. Again, Rams. I hope you throw a TD tailgating party. You can even sell tickets for it. TD tailgating party. I don't know how that works. You got to let me know what you envision in that, and we'll see if it's feasible, and we'll get it done. Did I miss a lot? Yeah, Rip. As always, Tannehill's on his way back, man. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Greetings to all the Fins fans. Morning, Jersey. Everything good? All good. Thanks. Hit that like button, guys. Yes, 60 in the room, only 22 likes. Show your love, guys. I'm not getting a lot of news on training camp. I think the Rams are about to go off this season. We shall see. TD, great info, bro. I appreciate that, man. I heard Parker is wearing some sort of sleeve. But I think he's fine. Players wear sleeves and stuff all the time just to keep the, it's minor injuries that aren't really threatening. I hope there's not some sort of injury. Yeah, I mean, once we know more, I know this coaching staff has been tight-lipped about any injuries and the severity of them, and it sucks. Just come on. What did I miss? Nothing. Depth chart lacks depth. True. Very true. Very true. And let me take a stop real quick and head over to the defensive side of the football. Right now, defensive end Harris, no secret there. No one worthy of overtaking him. Defensive tackles interesting. We got our two starters right now, Christian Wilkins and Devon Gottschall. And that's where we have depth because backing those guys up is Akeem Spence and Vincent Taylor. I love that. Mbu is the third string in Washington after that. Pittman, Thomas, and Quiros after those guys. Again, it is what it is. Some of those guys aren't making the team, but I love the defensive tackles, guys. I really do. Now, the defensive ends. I already read we got Harris, Orchard, Holmes, and Hendricks. So Harris is on one side. Tank Carradine is on the other side. And behind him is Woodard and Ledbetter. So Harris and Carradine is going to be starting at the defensive end position. See if any of those two guys can come on this year. We're really hoping Harris blossoms. But we shall see. It's yet to be seen. Now, this one was interesting. At the linebacker position, nothing changed from last year. You still got Baker, McMillan, and Alonzo. Now, it's interesting, and this tells you it's going to be a lot of schematic football. We thought that Sam Egwavon would be replacing McMillan, but they have Egwavon behind Alonzo. So this is what makes me feel like they just named starters and listed everybody else. But you have Watson, Egwavon, and Wiltz backing those guys up. Then Chase Allen, Hank, and McTire backing those guys up. Patman and Needham. We'll see if that changes. So right now, the up-and-coming guy, Sam, is actually second unit, and which is amazing. That still means that's good. We found a talent out of nothing, guys. I ain't saying out of nothing, but that no one expected to be a talent. So that's a big ups. But nothing changes there. We still got Xavier Howard and Eric Rowe opposite him. Nothing changed there. Rashad Jones, we already talked about that, backed up by T. McDonald and Walt Aikens. And then you got Bobby McCain backed up by Minka Fitzpatrick, Smith, and Hardage. So Minka Fitzpatrick, he's not starting on this depth chart. They have him backing up Bobby McCain at the safety position. But that's just another way of saying the nickel when we run a nickel package. Because usually when they do the 11-man, there is no end. There is no position for nickel, just so y'all know. All right? It's more of a term used. All right, specialists, we have Jason Sanders as the kicker. I love it. Matt Hack as the punter and the holder. I love it. Long snapper, John Denning. Backed up by Earnsworth, which I don't know. if he's gonna make the roster. Kick return, Jakeem Grant, Kenyon Drake, Isaiah Ford, and Gaskins. Punt return, Grant again, Kenny Stills, Drake, Irvin, and Ford. So it looks like the constants on kicking unit, Grant, Drake, and Ford. Those are your constants on both units. But that is your depth chart, guys. TD, do you think we are going to be a head of game like Moneyball, set value to players? Let me read that again. TD, do you think we are going to be ahead of game like Moneyball, set value to players? I'm not really understanding what you're meaning. I really don't understand. I don't know how to answer because I'm not understanding what you're trying to say. Please forgive me, man. I can't. Sometimes I don't comprehend everything. Maybe it's just still early for me. Go Fins and go TD Fins. We will shock a lot of teams and so-called experts. You better know it, Few. Hey, Few, you about to wake me up, man. Charles Harris really needs competition and work. He is a terrible left end. Man, we just got to be better at the position, but we'll see. We'll see as we get some real game time action. Talent got worse. Our only hope is scheme can make us up for less talent on D. How did the talent get worse on D? That'll be an interesting one to explain. The talent that we lost on defense didn't have a good season at all. Some could argue below average season. So how did the talent get worse? You know? And I do agree with you. We are relying on scheme. But great schemes make everybody look better. That's what it's about. That's what I keep preaching, man. Schematic football is putting everyone in the best position so it elevates the team overall. Better schemes is always better than better talent. Because you'll have people playing as a cohesive unit, playing off of each other's strengths, making it gel, making it flow, making it complementary. So that's my take. Fins D was 29th overall last year. Expect about the same unless scheme makes difference. Scheme's going to make the difference. I didn't get notification. That sucks, man. I'm getting tired of this notification crap, man. YouTube, man. We'll get to 10,000 subscribers. They're going to show some respect at that point, man. What's up, TD in chat? I'm good, Nico. I'm sorry I missed. I'm sorry if I missed. Can you go over the O-line, OL, and what's up with the O-line from Tennessee from the draft? D Howard, I guess I'm behind on what you're trying to say. Yeah, I'm not getting what you're trying to say. I predict the newly coached Fins will unseat the hated Patriots, and I also predict Fins will force Brady to retire sooner than later. See, Jersey know what time it is, man. We're Adwal Agule on the depth chart. Good question. Yeah, I don't see him. I know did they switch? Did they move him or something? That's a great question. I don't see him on this depth chart. I guess this confirms, man. Something's wrong, man. It's not making much sense, guys. And if y'all see the depth chart, maybe y'all saying, TD, you blind. It's right there. I don't see it. I don't see him at all, man. I just don't. I mean, the truth is, you know what I think happened to him? I think that he's on let me see. Yeah, he's gone, man. He's gone, man. Maybe he'll make the Hall of Fame depth chart. Maybe that's the one that he's probably going to make. I just don't see it on here, guys. I'm sorry. Goulier? Yeah, I don't see him at all, man. I think he's on that one with Dan Marino, though, maybe. Let me see. Oh, there he is. There he is. Yeah, I found him. Yeah. He's right next to the long snapper. He's right next to the long snapper. So he's been demoted as a long snapper, guys. He's an official long snapper, man. So he's probably gonna take John Denny's position. Let me see who had asked that in the first place. Oh, y'all been moving fast. He's a troll. Come on, y'all. Some people like who? Oh man. Y'all hit that like button, man. Let's see. The chat. I'm sorry. Go ahead and building. I predict. I already read that. Let's see. Man, I'm behind. I don't know where I left off. Keep up the good work, TD. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. He's messing with you, TD. He's been going. I know. Remember when Hogan was our training camp darling? Oh, not really. Look how that turned out. The man got trolled. No, who's gone? Don't listen to it, Nico. Man, we're actually just going back and forth playing with each other, man. TD is the man. Hit that like button. TD, those who don't hit the like button are probably local sports beat writers getting free stories off of you. Yeah, beat writers, hit the like button, man. I'm gonna keep doing it, giving you stories. I ain't gonna lie, it is funny though. Every time, because y'all know I'm all on the internet. I'm looking for new stories. I'm looking for new information. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for that. And every time I make a compelling argument on something that nobody's talking about or thinking about, then I go look for any new information out here. Like the next day, I see an article about exactly what I've been talking about. It's kind of funny, but I don't know if that's coming from me or they're just thinking the same way. So I'm not sitting here trying to take credit or they're copying me. I'm not that type of person. Can care less if they are. I actually would recommend they do, if anything. But yeah, man, it'd be funny. I'd be like, oh, I hit that yesterday. It'd be pretty cool. TD, I just called the show earlier, went straight to voicemail. I don't know what be up with this mic, man. I mean, this app. It's always in and out. It barely works at times. It's ridiculous, man. Okay, fine. I will hit the like button. Gosh. Rip, hit that like button, man. If Rip is the local beat writer, y'all. If you are on the iPhone or iPad, there is no like button. That's not true at all. All right, y'all got it misunderstood. You have to move the chat. So if you're on iPad or iPhone, you got to move the chat. Okay? Give you an example. I'm on iPhone. I got an iPhone. So let me go ahead and click on Me Live. Make sure I ain't tripping, because I might be tripping, you know. All right, I'm on me. Move the chat. Hit the like button. You got to just exit out of the live chat. Hit the X button like you don't want the live chat anymore, and right in front of your face will be a like button. You hit the like button, then you hit live chat back. Okay? It's that simple. You see? I don't know if you can see. The focus is pretty bad. Oh, you just turn the focus on. Help you all out. Still not focused. Oh, well, let me hit the button. Still not. It's not good. It's not good. Still not. It's not good. Oh, my volume coming through. I guess it's too blurry. All you got to do is hit the X, man. Well, let me get the focus off. So yeah. All right, let's see. 65 in the room. Y'all hit that like button, guys. All right, so TD, I've been a Dolphins fan since 1972 in the Rockport, Texas. Go Dolphins. Exists the chat you see. I do not like I did not like button. Okay. People don't know this already. Wait, I can watch you on my iPhone. You should be able to. It's just YouTube. How? How what? Wait, I can watch it on an iPhone? Download YouTube in the App Store. Just download YouTube. It's that simple. Jerome just got hurt right now. Oh, don't tell me that. I worried about Jaceki. That dude, Brittle, Jerome, just got hurt. Oh, gosh, that's the second person said it. This is not good. I called again. Something's wrong with it, Anthony. I haven't gotten any call. I got it, TD. And no, not Jerome. What are y'all talking about? Jerome Baker got hurt. Let me see, man. See what y'all talking about. Y'all better not be trolling me, man. Better not be trolling. You know what? Trolls get blocked from this day forward. They better not be a troll. Let's see. Let me see if any update, breaking news or something is going on. Yeah, I better not be messing with my mind right now. I don't want to hear nothing about no Jerome got hurt. I don't see no Jerome getting hurt. Let me see. Alrighty. Nah, I don't see that. I don't see that at all. Let me do this. Let me go to my Twitter. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything right now. Let me do this. Let me see, man. Everybody keeps saying that Jerome Baker. I'll let y'all know in just a second, man. I'll let y'all know in just a second how accurate this is. All right, here we go. What's going on? Oh, gosh. You got to be kidding me. All right, man, I'm going to end this stream, do a little bit of research. I'll be right back in about 3 minutes, 5 minutes, y'all. I'll be right back. Oh, my gosh. You got to be kidding me. I'll be back, guys. We're going to end this stream. I got to see what's going on exactly. Then I'll come back live and give y'all the breaking news. Gosh.